and welcome to an HFDL premiere match. We have Panic at the Discordia versus Pumpkins Patch. This is week 3, and this is going to be a great game. I am your host, Nathan DePaulo. With me, also hosting, is Giants. Say hello, Giants.
How's it going, everyone?
Well, it's
What's your
going
favorite
well for
caster?
me. Yeah, and also Giants. Just kidding, but I am thrilled to be casting with you. I got to be honest. I don't think we've gotten to do this before, and I can't think of a better match to be casting together on. These are two really great teams and a lot of players that I am just super a fan of.
Yeah, I mean, we casted some games in season 1, but this is the first one for us. So I think that the skill level has really jumped up, and I think it's going to be shown in this game especially. I'm excited because these are some top tier teams. Young Cub, who is on a roll right now, I believe he is with a perfect record of 2-0, going up against a team who seems to be struggling a little bit for form. What do you think about these bands right now?
Yeah, not a lot of surprise here. I mean, the Mercury and the Nemesis, you don't want to see those on the enemy team, especially late game. Cleo, definitely strong in solo lane and jungle. Horus, I think specifically targeted to mid-man. He is known for his Horus jungle, and they also have used Horus in other roles, I believe, on this team. So it's just one of those things. You don't want to give them something that they're so comfortable with.
Yeah, he's definitely a Horus one trick, that's for sure.
Yeah, I don't
And
think that they're going to play the game now that Horus has been banned. We'll probably see Panic at the Discordia F6 at 1.
we'll see about that. I don't think so, but it's going to be an interesting one for sure. As someone who played with a Horus one trick last season with patching, or they call me Toby. Those guys are different beasts, man. They absolutely set the tempo for the game, and if you're able to climb off of their early game pressure, especially if you have that very dangerous dual lane of a Freya Horus or a Soul Horus, it's going to be pretty difficult for any dual lane to contest with the amount of pressure as they're going for a Hugh Huang ban here.
Yeah. This is one of those things that tells you it's Premier because you will not see that in Challenger. You won't see that in low elo ranked games. But as he goes up in like rank level or skill level, you see that this god, the new mage, is very much a difficult one for teams to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, after the buffs that he received, I think he's a lot better than a lot of people expected, as we're going to be seeing a Bakasura instant lock-in, something that
Mhm.
they've definitely planned for ahead of time. So it's going to be interesting to see how this matchup in jungle is going to go. Is it just going to go Daji in response?
Yeah, so both teams heavily favoring jungle in the initial pick. So I think that kind of tells you how they're wanting to play around. Also, I feel like I haven't heard him say these words, but I bet I'm quoting Midman by saying, "I hope they ban my Horus. Wait till they see what I've got." So, jokes aside from earlier, I have a feeling that this Bakasura is going to be well practiced and come out of the gate swinging.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan when it comes to someone like Geb this early on. I think
Hmm.
Geb is really, really good as a late game pickup. Same with Daji. I think if you choose Daji early, you're just inviting a whole bunch of CC immune gods, including the Ravana that was just locked in.
Yeah.
I'm expecting it to go into that solo lane. Krazen has been playing some assassins in the solo lane. As we see a Freya, a really good pickup against the Geb. No need to build crit if you're just gonna burst them down with base auto attacks, as well as you're able to get the full immunity on the ultimate
Yeah, no,
against
I agree
Daji.
with that.
So
Yeah,
I like
Freya
what
really
Freya.
in a good spot right now. So is Robin. Recent showings in the actual pro games, SPL level, has really demonstrated that with the right build, Robin basically stops taking damage. It's not a bug, it's the feature. I think getting him in the solo lane is a really good move for Panic at this point. I personally am, however, a big fan of Morgan Le Fay. I feel like she is a high utility mage that does a lot, including damage late game.
I feel like when you play Morgan Le Fay, you only play it if people are going to be diving you really hard. And with a Bakasura and Nirvana, you're definitely going to be dove pretty hard.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Imagine
seeing
Panic not diving.
seeing Le Fay getting picked up pretty early on here is not bad. I would have liked to see them pick up their dual lane because I'm going to be expecting there to be a lot of ADC bans here as Ullr and Chernobog are both going to be banned out here. I wouldn't be surprised if we see another targeted ban here on ADC, maybe an Apollo or something of the like for more global presence.
Yeah, well, I agree with that. Oh, Jingwei, similar vein, definitely one of the top hunters, one that's pretty well contested. Interesting to see her in the second round of bans, to be honest. But yeah, they're trying to limit Pumpkin's Patch from being able to just free roam and have those instant four-man ganks that global hunters have.
I actually like this Osiris pickup here if they do lock it in. I think Osiris is really underrated. I know everyone's oohing and awing over the King Arthur and the other solo laners that are using Glad Shield right now, but I really think that Osiris is kind of being slept on. Has a lot of potential to be able to just run you down early in mid game, especially against someone like Freya. If you don't have that banish, you're that, and you have to burn that ulti. The Osiris is just going to follow you. He's just going to dive over walls, stun you, go full combo on you. It's going to be almost impossible to get away from him. As well as he's really good matchup into Ravana, able to take down that shield pretty easily. I'm a big Baba Yaga stan. I'm not gonna lie, one of my favorite gods in mid lane, especially after the changes they made to the fluidity of her abilities. I think that she has a lot of high burst potential and a lot of low cooldowns, especially utility to get that silence off, or even the protections and movement speed. So she's able to try to get away from the Osiris. I think is really important here. As well as you have your 3 for knockout or knock back immunity if the Geb is going to hit you with a rollout.
Yeah, Baba Yaga has, I think, a lot of utility as well, and a surprise factor sort of comes in. You don't know as the enemy if she's got an additional potion in her pocket. You don't know which one it is, if it's got the slow effect or if it's extra power. You don't know which line attack is coming out. Are you going to get silenced? Is it going to go left? Is it going to V? There's a lot of wildcard factor that comes from a Baba Yaga that increases the frustration when you're playing against her. And so that could be a big thing.
Interesting.
Odin finishing out the team.
I understand why.
Support.
Yeah, I understand why the Odin is coming out. I think the ultimate's really, really strong against that team comp, and I think Charybdis is the right call here in response. It will just walk straight out of the Odin cage without any problems. But I don't know how Charybdis is ever going to fight Freya. I think that's going to be a really, really difficult lane. As well as if the Bakasura or the Ravana jumps on you without using their ultimates, I think you're just going to be screwed. Granted, you can use Charybdis 3 inside of Baka ult. Even though it's a cripple.
It's not affected by the cripple.
It's not affected by cripples. Because it's not a leap or movement ability in that sense, where cripples would affect it. So it's a really, really good matchup for the Charybdis, but I think there has to be a lot of pressure onto this Freya. If you don't, because the late game team compo, or the late game potential of Baba Yaga and Freya on that team fight potential of the Odin cage is really scary, because Baba Yaga ultis, if that hits you and then you burn, oh my goodness, that absolutely torches you.
Well, this puts a lot of pressure, I think, on 3 Maniacs with the Dodgy to be able to dive that Freya, which I think for a lot of the game, that's an effective thing that you can do. But if Freya can get a quick whoop, jump into ult, the turnaround possibility for the Freya late game becomes very high. And so really, I think these late game fights are going to be determined on whether or not they pull the Freya out early or not.
Yeah, I think that they're going to have to do something to try to keep them within this game, because most of these games you actually are going to be able to get to late game. But it's going to be a tough one, I think, for sure. We do have the Geb ult and Lefay ult in order to get a lot of really good peel. But the only issue that I have is generally when you have a Dodgy, you want to be able to have some sort of one-shot potential if you ever get a pull from the Dodgy. And there just isn't any. I don't think Lefay is going to one-shot you. I don't think Charybdis is going to one-shot you. I don't think Osiris is going to, and obviously Geb is just going to layer CC. So it's going to be an interesting matchup, because especially the DR changes, they have a lot of CC that's going to be able to stack up on Pumpkin's Patch. but I wonder how much that's actually going to matter if someone's just going to get hit by that dodgy ulti and then they're going to Ravana ulti out.
Absolutely agree. I think that we're going to see how the execution of it goes. Morgan's good at combos, but once they've been CC'd 2 or 3 times, since the DR does reduce the duration of the CC effects following up, getting the kill might be harder and harder, especially when you've got a Ravana, a Freya that can go almost instantly into CC immunity. And for that matter, Baba Yaga, it's a little bit of a wind up on the house, but once she's a big old house, she starts doing damage and taking less. And so all of those things, I think, work out into Panic's favor. So, I mean, I guess let's ask it. It's something I like to bring up every game. Who won picks and bans? Setting aside the players, just looking at the god pools, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, like, I think in normal comp, I would normally say that Pumpkin Patch has a really, really good comp here. It's very balanced, front to back, strategic comp. They have a lot of ways of getting in, a lot of ways of getting out, a lot of self peel, a lot of team peel. But I think that if they are able to play forward to back in these team fights, I think Pumpkin Patch has it. But the extremely hard scaling, very dangerous snowball gods that are Freya and Bakasura are going to be something that has to be respected and warranted when we are going into this match.
Yeah. So I totally agree with that, and I'm going to put that same question to the chat and say, all of y'all, if you have thoughts about who did the best picks and bans, throw them in there, and I'll just throw in a little bit of my tidbits on this. It, I think, breaks down to Panic built a dive comp for sure, and Pumpkin's Patch built an anti-dive comp. We're just going to have to see in the rock, paper, scissors of it all which one really figured it out.
Yeah, and I think that just looking at who won draft in the voting, it looks like everyone. It's a 5-0 vote for Panic at the Disco, which I think is just so true. The Freya power pick here, I think, is absolutely massive. I think that there was a bit of a mistake choosing the Dodgy so early on, but we'll see if Dodgy is going to be able to keep the paces up. Now, an interesting thing is because of Baba Yaga's ult being a knockback. If the Dodgy is on top of you, let's say she does a dash on top and then goes into the shred of 1,000 cuts, you're going to be able to stay on them because you're knockback immune during that animation. So it's going to be an interesting matchup. There's a lot of skill checks, I think, in this game. I actually would have really been interested to see where we're going to be starting on jungle, as the new jungle clear starts seem to be anything from the standard speed red mid lane to red speed back camp or red speed lane, or if we're going to see any interesting builds.
Yeah, I am also curious. I think both of these teams have a real potential to bring out some surprise you sort of things, the type of stuff that maybe you don't know is meta yet, that type of thing. And so I look forward to it. Last game I cast in Premier, everyone was doing red to speed. It was 100%, and so we'll see if that's what they do. But it looks like they might be starting at speed now. Interesting. And I'm wondering, what do you think the determining factor is on that? How do you think they decide versus the other?
I mean, if you're going to be starting on red going into speed buff, I think you're sacrificing the first wave pressure. You should never f them because they're going to be able to hit 2 if they do the speed to red. But if you really want to maximize the amount of XP that you're going to be getting, especially with a Hog, because of the low HP that speed and red both have, using Hog on the back camp, when it has 600 HP, is definitely something that you want to do to speed up the comp. As you're going to be seeing lots of pings here, as they're going to want to spawn on, they want to do red, but they are way too late to try to do it. So they're just going to go ahead, Pumpkin's Batch, I should say, and do speed buff instead.
I find that interesting. I wonder why the lack of coordination for something as I'm going to say crucial as a start. It might seem like a second or two doesn't make a big difference here, and if you want to execute the plan, you got to be flexible enough to make audibles or whatever. But the first 5-10 seconds of the game should be pretty automatic. You should know what you're doing. You should be a-okay. We're getting started.
I think it might have been because of the delay on 3 Maniacs you DC'd, or wasn't connected, or the last one was connected, I should say.
He did take a minute to connect, so maybe they had to make that decision right then. On that note, when a DC connects in Spectator, it reorders everybody, so they have to get switched around. Looks like a lot of damage coming in onto the Geb there. Lana looking like she needs to back up for a bit.
Yeah, we also need to have our HP bars up if we could possibly do that, because I know that Pumpkin Patch hit level 2 first because they missed out on a single range minion, but no one else would have been able to figure that out unless they were looking at abilities. So if we can get that swapped over Tragic, that'd be fantastic. Thank you. I was looking at some pretty equal pressure right now, and that's a bit of a surprise coming from a Freya who's not able to auto-attack waves, but you could argue that with...
I want to tell you, I think that Freya early game is good now. Not good with a caveat, not good for Freya, just good. Does all right with current meta. And
yeah, I mean, there's a free kill. They absolutely focus on it. Yeah, you see, I can't tell if that's what the HP was at, or if they were close to killing him. And there's another one, because I have no idea where people's HP are. Or the mana, I have no idea what's going on, but 2 free kills, there we go. Well done, Tragic. Nice kills for Freya. That's the last thing you want to see. In 2 minutes into the game, a Freya with a double kill is nothing.
Setting the pace, absolutely. And while we have just a moment to breathe in the frantic pace that has come out here, I want to do a shout out to our brand new camera person, Tragic Fox. A lot of fans in the chat, I am sure of it. So put your love in the chat there for us.
Yeah, just gonna get a pretty simple invade here. Some fighting up there in mid lane is looking a little spicy. Yeah, we're gonna get a blue invade here, or at least an attempt to, as they're gonna be chasing down Blink over the wall, looking for it, and gets the kill. Unfortunately, we weren't able to see it, but there was a kill and a Blink over the wall from Midman, as they do pick up another kill, as the tempo is just going faster and faster for this Panic at Discordia.
That is a 1,500 gold lead at 3 minutes. You know, I don't want to be, alarmist or anything, but this is cause for concern. Stun on EMT. We see Young
there's going to be a banish here in a second, almost. Lots of damage coming down. I mean, that's going to be another kill if you're not careful. It's going to be a banish in a second, and then Young Cub's just going to be jumping on him. Fortunately, he misses. But Midman with a full rotation.
Yeah, that's Wingman Ghost. Bringing in that last little bit of damage. Lana thought she was out. You know, I saw her put the shield on, the Geb shield, and it just disappeared as soon as she put it on there. Like, I saw the animation of her putting a shield on, but no actual shield health. That's how much damage that Freya was doing.
Yeah, no, that was a lot. I mean, this Freya is just really, really strong right now. As this Dodgy is going to try to do anything to match his pressure. Is going to go all the way in on this Ravana. Ravana's just going to be able to walk out. Canisaurus hit the last axe. Is unfortunately going to miss it. A little bit out of range, as Ravana's just going to be able to walk out of this.
Do you think mitigations are strong? I think mitigations are strong. Yeah, Raven just difficult to kill right now. Definitely taking that 1v1 over there, had the extra mana that the Osiris didn't. I think if Osiris had more mana, that might have been a kill over in the solo lane, but instead, Ravana was able to just walk right out.
Yeah, I mean, and we're already seeing some big differences right now with a level lead in solo, as well as, scratch that. There's 2 level lead in jungle. The Dodgy and the Osiris have not been swapped over, so tragic when you get the chance. But the dual lane has a level lead in support, and almost a level lead in ADC with those 3 kills. Nope, all the way around. We want solo lane to be on the top. As we're going to get a quick invade here, really good ulti to be able to walk out, but it doesn't matter if you're going to get ulti from the Odin Cage. That's another stack for my man, and 2 ults down straight for it.
Yeah, that was either unfortunate. Oh god, at 5 minutes. That tells me that EMT is already a little tilted.
I like this Dodgy invade right now, grabbing the speed buff as Ravana's going to be coming and getting the blue buff. Really good punish. Not much you really can do
because
because you can't go to the other side of the map. But you are able to get the speed buff, which can hopefully slow down the Bakasura a little bit and make sure that lead doesn't get too crazy.
Yeah, they got to find a way to start getting back into the game because getting off to a rocky start can make it really difficult. It's very possible to steamroll right now. Even with a good team comp, I think Pumpkin's Patch has good gods for this situation. It's just one of those things. XP and levels means such a big difference.
That's a lot of damage coming out of Krasen. Krasen is really just putting the numbers on this counter matchup. I mean, the matchup, oh, unfortunately misses. Doesn't get the root. The up down from Realize, just not going with the pressure, as we do see a solo kill from Iron Wolf.
Okay.
I wonder if Maniac is going to get this full kill here. There's no ulti on Krasen. This should be just a straight kill here, as they're going to let him walk away a little bit, forcing the ultimate out. Can you hit the third chain?
He gets it.
No beads. Nope. Goodbye, sir.
That's the end of that.
Yeah, really unfortunate you have to waste the ulti onto that fight there, but does get it. That is a potential kill there. No, unfortunately out of range, but we do have the Bucker going all the way in with a huge ulti. Is CC immune for the first second after that ulti. Does get the trade. It's actually really good gold going over to Swiftfish there, coming out of the Bakasura shutdown.
Yeah, I understand the urge to get the kill, but I think that Panic of the Discordia needs to understand that their lives are just worth more. Getting a 1-for-1 trade is not necessarily a win for them. It's good to see that we got 3 Maniacs putting Pumpkin's Patch on the board, and then Swiftfish getting that credit for that second kill. Starting to make things look a little more of an option for him.
Nice damage. I love the harassment that Young Cub is doing right now. Just not letting 3 Maniacs do anything at all whatsoever in the jungle. Just being an absolute harassment wherever he goes, as they're going to be walking straight back up. They know they have the map. They know they have all this pressure, so they're just going to be able to come over and do whatever they want on it. As this game is very, very quickly slipping away, as we almost have a 4K lead for Panic at the Discordia.
Yeah, there's just so much that they're doing, and as far as aggressive supports, Odin is particularly good at that, I think. He does big burst damage, even building full defense, and he's just got a lot of tools to make it difficult to play the game.
Yeah, and I mean, it's going to be really, really difficult to dive almost any of these characters at this point. So we're going to get an early ulti coming out of Swiftfish. Maybe fearing the ulti coming out from Bakasura from over the top of the wall. Daji was there to make sure that didn't happen, but just trying to farm anything at all, as the 2 gods that I was talking about snowballing really, really hard early game, it's doing exactly that. So we're going to get a look here onto the gank into Soling. That is the immunity down, gets the stun, was a little bit too early. Can Maniacs get there in time to be able to get the full kit off? That is an unfortunate miss onto the roots, but does get the kill onto Maniacs, putting Maniacs back on the board, trying to catch up to this Bakasura as we get an invade onto the Trebuchet. There's 4 people coming onto this Lana Geb right now, and that's a very quick death.
Very quick. Even getting the Geb ult out in the process, I don't think that there's anything that she could have done at nearly her tier 2 in positioning. That really is showing you the aggressive quality that Panic is using right now. Diving the support in enemy jungle. That's saying a lot.
Yeah, and it's actually really quite good for Bakasura that the speed timers are off time, because it's going to make it difficult for Daji to invade over and over and over again, as they have to eventually go to those back camps on the other side of the map, and instead of doing more vertical jungling, they're going to have to go to the traditional horizontal jungling that Panic really wants them to do, considering that there's going to be a lot more space for them to work with. As we're going to get a full dive onto Realize. Realize is going to pump the ulti out immediately. No root, unfortunately, from Krasen. Krasen wants to commit, but doesn't get it all. Come back from Maniac. Maniac is going to get a lot of damage onto Minions. They're going to be pinging for Krasen. They really want Krasen here. It's going to get an ulti up. That is a max range hit. Amazing immunity from Krasen. Really, really good timing there. Not to get affected by that CC.
Mechanics on both of those plays I think were excellent. The Daji getting up there, getting that ultimate hit, just as instantly canceling it to try and get the pull. That would have been the kill, but super good response time.
I mean, when you're this good as Freya with 2 items, it's just really hard to do anything at all. Midman's trying to do that little HP, and they're going to be able to punish the invade from Maniacs. He's trying to do anything to scrounge back any sort of gold or XP away from this Bakasura, but not when the Bakasura still has ultimate, good friend. You do not.
More aggression going on in mid. Stun coming out of the Odin and the ultimate. Good
Odin cage. We're going to be able to get a good dive here. Lots of damage coming out of this Book of Thoth, Baba Yaga, as they're going to be able to pick up another kill. I'm not too sure if that is another Odin stack, as they're going to go straight for the Pyro, as it's going to be a full dive from Armorwolf. Armorwolf just does not miss with that much HP and that much advantage with those 2 items finished. And there's also going to be a Pyro take here as well. I mean, it is very quickly becoming an absolute wash of a game right now. They're going to have to be very careful coming into this.
I'll be surprised if Gold Fury doesn't get called soon. Just a moment to talk about this build on the Freya. You know, Ring of Hecate going into the Hastened Ring. Once Hastened Ring is online, Freya really is a force to be reckoned with. You know, it is very difficult not to get killed once that Fatalis effect kicks in. So I would be very scared of this Freya, regardless who you are at this point.
Yeah, no, I'd agree. Especially with all the solo laners going for the Golden Blade rush. There's not going to be a lot of tanking this going up against this very fed Freya pickup here. It's going to be almost impossible to try to dive, especially considering that an ADC has a 3-level lead on solo lane and a nearly a 4-level lead on every single person on the opposing team. I mean, it's very scary to deal with, as EMT is going to get focused down here, but there is a dodgy response. You're going to have to force an ulti out of Armorwolf, but Armorwolf gets the kill first. The amount of damage coming out here. This is going to be a really good trade. If you missed! Oh my goodness, no way did EMT just miss that one. As they get a trade kill from Armorwolf. That is a quick FF if I'm ever going to see it. That's a moment of disaster.
I am 100% sure they got
I need a, yeah, I gotta need to hit a, you gotta hit those in chat real quick. My goodness, that's highly unfortunate. The thing is, if EMT was going to be able to get a kill there, I think that you just had to get it, even if you died for it. You're 0-4 at the time. You get that kill on a 6-0-2 Freya. You're going to get so much gold. Even if you die, I think that trade is always worth it.
Oh, absolutely. And any 1-for-1 trade is worth it for Pumpkin's Patch right here. And I think especially so when there's a 5-level difference between the two, lane opponents. You're definitely right. I think the surrender vote that we saw earlier is an indication of what happened there. I feel him. I absolutely have been in those shoes, and so I know what's going on. But like that's headspace right there. It was an easy pickup with the biggest cone in the game.
Oh, nice ulti. Oh, unfortunately misses the up down on the other side, but they do get the tower anyways. As Crescent has no ult, but Green Maniacs does. Can you hit the ulti? Hits 1, hits 2, does get the beads off because they are level 13, but Young Cubs just all tank and doesn't care about getting hit by a dodgy
solo
ult.
laners getting away with just whiskers of health. You gotta say that's kind of impressive.
Yeah, as they're just gonna invade absolutely everything here and devour the jungle, as Bakasura is always hungry. And I mean, if the man wants to eat, he eats, because this is very, very close. Well, we already have a 10k gold lead at 14 minutes.
Yeah, let's take a look actually at F4 and see the lead. That is just a ski slope. That is just a steady rise for the last 15 minutes, basically.
Yeah. Oh, Freya's going to try to get another kill here in duo lane, as Daji's going to be coming over. Definitely saw the Daji on the ward. Daji decides, I'm not catching these hands again. And I mean, the Freya's at level 16 with 3 rings now. I mean, you're going to need nearly an entire team to kill her at this point. As we do see lots of good anti-heal coming out from Pumpkin's Patch, but it's going to be a rough one for sure. There's a full-blown dive here onto the backline. Young Cub very ambitious to try to dive onto this tier 1 tower, as it has very little HP. He really wants it. He's very low HP. He's getting CC forever, and he dies for it. I wonder if that has like 40 HP, as we do get a trade here from Midman. Midman is going to go absolutely crazy on this dive here, as they're just going to keep committing, and they're going to finish Young Cub's job maybe and get that tower. Yep, one auto attack from Kaz and gets it. They're going to keep going. They're going to go in. Yeah, they have so much power here. It's absolutely crazy. I mean, yeah, just another kill. EMT's trying to do anything to try to get gold up. I'm surprised he doesn't want to take that tower.
There's
Maybe
nothing
he's
on
gonna,
the map.
maybe he's fearing getting frozen out. But they're just going to trade a tier 2 tower at this point. As we see Krasen pulling a young cub and dying to tower, trying to take it. As they do ping EMT, they know where he is. As Freya's going to pick up a red buff and go for a little bit of a hunt. As we see, actually, Baba Yaga just evening out the pressure here. I thought for a second they had TP, but that's not the case.
EMT being real bold right now with this pathing, just looking for any XP. I suppose there is some logic to it. Even if he dies, it's not worth that much for the enemy team, and he needs to get farm.
Yeah, no, this is you got to be thinking about what we're going to be doing for next game. I think I'm going to have to let that horse through and ban this Freya, because this Freya cannot be let through again, or at least they need to have a different game plan for it, as EMT is going to get chunked out almost to half HP with 2 auto attacks. He wants to take this fight for whatever reason. I'm not sure. He realizes that the range autos can only go for so long, and does get out, but wastes the ulti for absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I think that the Whirlpool just to the safety of the tower would have been the answer, but I don't know. Maybe he was thinking that there's a chance.
I mean, when Armor Wolf is hitting autos, they're hitting autos. As Baka's trying to contest this Pyro Steel, as Pumpkin Patch is going to look for anything at all to do. Is going to force out the ulti very early out from Realize. As they're just going to be chasing everyone down. Really good ulti onto the Swiftfish. They don't have the upgraded shell to be able to peel and get out of this cage. As the Bakasura ulti and the Baba Yaga ulti is just going to absolutely obliterate Fish. He's going to heal as much as possible. It doesn't matter. So they're going to be turning straight onto Lana. Lana's going to get chunked out here. It doesn't matter how beefy you are as a rock. You're going to get crushed onto this pressure. As we're going to be going random swap into camera. But we're going to go back into the team fight. Looking onto the back as Krasen's going to die, as Dodgy ulti is going to be forced out. Unfortunately, misses all of them, feeling that much pressure again. As they're going to go right into mid-man, getting traded out from Realize. As unfortunately, the Freya is here. Team fight's over.
Yeah. Well, at least 3 Maniacs is getting out.
Yeah,
oh, wait, there's more.
They do know where they are because they have really good ward positioning, but they're just going to be able to take out the Spider-Man pretty easily. They know that just because they're this far ahead doesn't mean that they can take Fire Giant just yet, just with the amount of short spawn timers that's going on right now. But if we look at player worth right now in a moment, I bet you Freya is absolutely head and shoulders above everyone else in this game right now, sitting at 10-0-4. Yeah, that's really unfortunate to see. If I was a Pumpkin Patch fan, I forgot to do the prediction of who we thought was going to win this game, but I think it's pretty obvious right now, unless Pumpkin Patch is going to be able to do some
throw your
very
predictions
incredible
into the chat, guys. Sorry, go ahead.
Nope. I was just going to be looking for Gold Fury pick here. Yeah, it looks like a really good ulti. Traps out Lana and body blocks into the corner as well. That's the entire rollout animation into the ulti. Has to shield themselves. That's going to get punished here for overstepping.
Well, we're seeing really good formation play with Panic at the Discordia. They have the lead, they know that they do, but they are not wandering around by themselves. They're sticking 5-man, they're getting objectives together. I think in a sense that is actually respecting Pumpkin Patch and saying, hey look, you know, don't give them solo kills, don't be the one person caught out. So they're pathing pretty well to be able to hang on to this lead and just keep the momentum going.
Yeah, and I think that if there's anything that Pumpkin Patch is going to do is just try to slow down this game, stop the bleeding, and try to take up all the farm as possible. The only issue is with how fast that this Bakasura has been farming this entire game. There's going to be very, very little jungle to be picked up, and a lot of ganks to be happening, as Baka is going to be looking for a free kill here onto Swiftfish.
Yeah. Well, now the tables have turned.
Really nice
17
ulti.
versus 13. Yeah,
Nice.
Dodgy up in the air.
Can you hit an ulti though? I feel like Maniacs is rushing these chains really hard, as Fish is going to go down to Ghost. He's going to get a full rotation over, and Dodgy's just going to be able to get out with the amount of movement speed that they have going back into the team fight. Nice stun from Osiris, but Osiris is going to go down anyways, as we're going to go back to Dodgy fight here, as there's going to be a lot of power coming out of this Ravana coming, and Midman's going to join the party as well, as this EMT's going to try to run away. It gets the stun off, but doesn't have enough damage to be able to get the full kill as Midman is 2 levels up on the
minions
EMT.
are at the Phoenix line. This may be an easy Phoenix. They don't have a lot of Phoenix damage compared to a conventional hunter build, that sort of thing. But what they do have is a lot of time to take out this Phoenix. There it goes.
I mean, it's a great Phoenix to take, and I think that they really should having eyes going on to this Fire Giant, especially with the waves that are going to be crashing in mid lane. Pumpkin Patch needs to sit and twirl for a little bit and see if they can try to defend or even try to steal this. But unfortunately, with the comp that they have, they don't really have a massive secure. So like I was saying before, you don't have that combo with a dodgy ulti and a raw ult, for example, or a Cuckoo. As they're just going to get a free Fire Giant. I mean, there's no pressure. They were just now respawning and getting into positions. No one is worrying about it except for Lana, but it's a little too late. So they're just going to rush down over and catch this wave and get the tier 2 towers out of the way.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be a slow and aggressive push in right lane.
Another Odin ulti straight on to death. Not much you can do about that one. Getting caught out once again, unfortunately, by this Odin cage. I mean, it's just a big team diff here.
This has got to be part of their strat. The number of times that they've caught Lana specifically alone and then just Odin ulted her, take her off the board. I think they're thinking without that anti-dive, Geb, without the shields, without the ult, and it's just free the team fight after that.
Yeah, exactly. So they're just going to try to do any sort of defense here. As going to go for full dive onto the back line, as Realize is trying to do anything for his team right now, as they don't have a full dive and they don't have a lot of CC to dodge with. But 3 Maniacs is able to get some ultis off. Unfortunately, misses the second for the damage. They are able to almost get one as the Krasen's immunity is going to come up, and Lana's already back up. I mean, level 12, your death time is like 30 seconds or something like that. So. Yeah, EMT is the only one who dies there, as they're going to be able to respawn, and come back, as Armorwolf says, screw that, I want all the smoke. It's going to go a really nice Odin cage into a Bakasura, as they're just going to absolutely on anyone inside there, as Armorwolf is going on a mission to get as many kills onto the board as possible. Really wants to pad the stat block right there, as they're going to go for full dive onto Swiftfish here. Has to force the ulti and forces the amount of oh, they're going all the way for this one. That is disrespect.
This might be a little greedy.
Oh, I don't know about greedy. That is absurd, though, as they're just going to try to end the game. As they're doing a little bit of too much BM here onto Swiftfish. They really, really wanted the kill, but they're just not going to get it. They're just trying to give Swiftfish some damage boosts. As Armorwolf says, nah, I'm not having it. I just want to end this game. Get us to game 2. Come on now.
Well, they did some damage to the Titan, but the resets have more or less brought it back up. So Titan standing reasonably healthy. Defense on the Phoenix was good, actually. Panic of the Discordia just abandoned the defense attack and decided to just go for kill chase and Titan. Now they are running back. No, they're just chasing because that tier 2 is still up. They're not even able to get this Phoenix.
No, I think they're just going to look for kills. Honestly, I don't think they're going to look for... They know their lead, they know their power. They're worried about how low HP they have, as Realize actually gets boosted towards Armorwolf, unfortunately, as Armorwolf is trying to heal as much as possible, hitting all the auto attacks, gets a really good stun there, but there's just so much health regen coming out of Armorwolf, as there's just barely any anti-heal from Osiris, and Osiris is just going to have to walk away from that one. That is horrible to see. I mean, that's the power of the jungle, in the jungle, on a Freya, with 4 rings.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. The power spike is for real. Still 2 levels ahead of that solo laner. Unless you've got 100% anti-heal on that Freya, she's going to just get a whole health bar back in a matter of seconds.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really rough situation, especially considering that Lana's so far behind that she had to commit to the Pestilence, even though the Osiris already has a Pestilence. And I mean, that kind of just speaks to the team fight in this game in general for Pumpkin's Patch. It seems to be very out of order, very all over the place when it comes to priority targeting. Just looking at the stat lines here and looking at the player damage, it's pretty obvious what the plan is for this game is spam Odin Cage, big dollar bills on this Freya, run the game.
That is the answer. Gosh, Freya just trying to take every fight that she can get.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, realize just force out the ultimate from the Freya, as we're going to get a little team fight here in mid lane. Three Maniacs is very, very low. Can you hit some chains? Does get onto the Yaga. Unfortunately, misses the Freya. But because of the CC immunity, like I was saying, how you don't ever want to pick Freya, so you don't ever want to pick Daji into a full team of CC immunity. They're just going to be able to walk out of that one, as they're going to go for this Phoenix once again. But you do have a Trebuchet working on the right side of the Phoenix with an Oni wave, it looks like. As they're going to get this Phoenix and then move right over to right side Phoenix, unless Midman wants all the smoke, which looks like he does.
Yeah.
As they're just going to walk over to the other side of the Phoenix, and this could be very much game if they're able to get these minions underneath the Titan. They're going to get another kill here. And full dive onto that really, really nice Odin Cage once again. Really good position on Odin Cage. Actually, to body block the Geb from the wall, not be able to move forward, as Freya's going to try to do as much damage as possible onto a very healthy Titan. They're just going to know the kill here onto the Osiris, unfortunately for them. And just going to walk this one home. Try to get some extra kills, pad up the damage charts, and end this game real quick.
Swift against the world, one man against an entire army. He's holding out for as long as he can, and the damage from the Morgan is good. I'd like to see that CC drop down right as the Titan is hitting people. Unfortunately, it's so hard for him to get anything of value.
As they do eventually kill him in spawn. That is what they were going for, but he does get a trade as Midman gets that kill. But yeah, that's the end of the game. Not much to say other than a complete landslide. For Panic and Discordia, I think Pumpkin Patch is going to have to recollect themselves very quickly and figure out where the fundamental plan went wrong.
That is tough. That is how this game is a large part mental, is because, these are good players on Pumpkin's Patch. There's no reason that they can't take a game, but they're going to have to reset their mentals. They're going to have to shake off what was a very difficult beating. And if they can do that and then make adjustments and picks and bans, I think this next game, they can get back in there. But they're going to have to do that to be able to bring us to a game 3.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to have to be a lot of differences coming out from this one. I think 2 of Swiftfish's kills actually were from killing Midman while he was inside of spawn. So almost every single person on the team of Pumpkin's Patch has 1 kill, excluding 3 Maniacs. And I mean, it's just complete domination from the very get-go of the game. They're going to have to do some real thinking on this one and see what they're going to have to put bans in, as we jump in right away and actually get bans immediately, as they're still going to ban the Kalina, and they're going to ban the Uller early instead. It looks like they're going to have a plan for this one. Looks like they're just going to try to go for maybe the Freya pick up themselves. As
this isn't a
standard
first pick Freya. I won't even understand anything about this game.
Standard bans coming up from Panic, as we just get Mercury and Nem. I don't think they need to change anything in their game plan. It's a pretty flawless game front to back. I think they could have ended it 10 minutes earlier if they weren't messing around trying to get kills and pad the stats for Steve to look at. But yeah,
they're thinking about their fantasy league.
Yeah, exactly. As I do have Armor Wolf, I think, is my ADC, so glad to see them pop off on Freya.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, if they don't ban Freya, they pick Freya. I think that it's just how it goes. I wonder if Armor Wolf is one of those players who likes to just play whatever, whenever, not necessarily always the strongest things. Or if they're just going to do a salty run back, as we do see the ban.
There it is.
But the Bakasura did get through. So I wonder if they're going to be able to pick that one up first pick here. Now, I would love to see if Lana plays something else. I think that the Khepri would have been a really good pickup if it wasn't banned earlier. I think what they need to do for this game, if I was Pumpkins, was choose the dual lane, was to pick jungle and then choose dual lane on P2 and P3, and try to get pressure on Armor Wolf just to even out the game and make sure that lead doesn't happen again.
Yeah, and on that note, early ganks, early rotations, like absolutely recognizing that dual lane is going to need love. And as much as anything, it's not necessarily for the benefit of EMT or Lana, but it's to keep that steamroll from happening, because one way or another, once they get to roaming, you're going to have to deal with the dual lane and where they're at. So as much as possible, keep them from hitting 20 when the rest of your team is 12.
Yeah, as we see the Ravana pick up here, good response to Krasen's pick. I think it was a really, really good matchup for the Ravana against the Osiris. Um, and they decide to handshake the Bakasura, saying that that wasn't the problem last game. As I wonder if Midman's just going to smash it right here, or if they're going to be able to pick the dual lane.
Horus is on the table, so the question is, more Baka? Do we go to the Horus? I mean, like, does he pull something else out, like Kali, for example, just to
I love
show
it.
him what else he's got?
Yeah, I think Kali's unbelievably strong right now. I think that the
Yeah.
fact that you can just stay on and do practically the same thing as a Bakasura, but you are immune to many forms of CC, as well as just literally unkillable
Yeah,
for, I
literally.
think it's 3 seconds. Confirm that, but it is what feels like an eternity.
Oh, and a Khepri. So a Kali with Khepri is just a special kind of like frustrating, because you've got this god that literally can't die, exactly like you said, and then once that ult is over, whoever is left standing, then they got to deal with a Khepri ult res, and once you consider Kali's passive, she can go almost immediately back to full health off of the Khepri ult if she can get the right kill. So very difficult to deal with.
Yeah, I actually like the Kumba pick here, as I was right that they do decide to pick their dual lane on P2 P3. I like the Khepri pickup here because Lana is well known for the Khepri and the Ganesha. But Kumba right now is very, very strong, and I think is really good for anti dive with a
Mm-hmm.
Kali. However, again, another god in support who is fundamentally tanky, but doesn't have the greatest of escapes if you're able to lock them down. Now, you don't have an Odin Cage this game, unless that's a Khepri mid lane for whatever reason. But you are able to get away with a lot with the Khepri to be able to take down the Kumbhakarna, as well as the stats or the amount of auto attacks that's going to need to kill the Kumbha late game is going to be absolutely immediately shredded by a Kali if they ever get onto him. As we see the Hou Yi pick up here, I actually like this a lot with the high skill matchup coming up for this one, as we're going to be looking for more of a 1v1 set coming out of these gods from Panic. Looking for more
Yeah.
1v1 potential instead of going for team fighting, which Pumpkin's Patch seems to be looking for.
I wouldn't want to be the one on the 1v1 receiving end from Armor Wolf, I'll tell you that. And I know you said a lot of things in the last couple of minutes, but I really want to get back to that Khepri mid pick that you were talking about, because now that's all I want to see. Hoping that, we get some real spicy picks for these last two. I
Yeah,
kid, but you never know
I
at this
don't think
point.
it's going to happen. But I do like the bans coming out from both sides, actually. The Baba Yaga is something that was really irritating going into that snowbally team fighting. Definitely don't want to see that again with the amount of self peel and damage coming out of that option. As they ban out the King Arthur, someone that is probably of equal value going into Ravana, as you're practically completely immune into a root, which is the only CC that Ravana has other than slows. But they do let through the Hu Huang, as it is going to be instant. As we're going to get a nice Chronos hover here. Interestingly enough, it'll be an
Ooh.
interesting pickup if they do decide to go for it. I think it is quite strong against a Kali, as you're going to be able to do a lot of CC and a lot of damage very quickly, as well as self peel.
So here's my question: is the Huang mid, or is it solo? Because we have seen Huang solo, and against a Kronos, that might be an interesting pick. He's got a quick, um, sustained CC immunity in his escape. You get hit by the Kronos stun, just go up in the air, no problems.
I mean, something that I'm interested in is who's going solo lane and who's
Yeah,
going jungle on Pumpkin's Patch. I think that this Ravana very well could be jungle, and we could have a Chernobog solo lane
yeah.
and just go for a double ADC comp into E set for alt secures. As we do see a Baron Sambi, I'm expecting that to be solo lane. As actually Krazen, yes, that is going to be the full swap. Do see Hugh Huang mid, and the Baron Samedi solo. After the Baron Samedi changes with the heal, and the speed that you have on your ultimate, I think it's really really strong. And I'm a big fan of Baron Samedi. I was a big fan when he was on release, when he was super broken. Got that man diamond in, I swear to God, a day. So it's going to be an interesting matchup here for these two teams. And since you asked me last game, I'm going to ask you this game. Draft.
Well, I think I am going to say, really acknowledging it, there's nothing wrong with Pumpkin's Patch Draft. I think ESET for objectives secure. I think Kumbhakarna for the anti-dive, Ravana for his own dive, Chernobog for the rotations, Kronos, very difficult to kill. I think that this is a good comp. The thing, though, is Kali. Kali late game just is a bit of a trump card, and you pair that with a Khepri, and I just think that late game team fights are going to be so difficult. And there's a lot of setup with the Huyi ult. You know, there's a lot going on. I want to give credit to Pumpkin's Patch. I think they've got a really good team, but when it really comes down to it, it's going to be so hard to beat late game Disco.
I mean, straight up, no fluff. Got to
Mhm.
give to Panic. I don't think it's even close. I think that one team is going for team fights, another team is going for split push, and I don't know like which one I would want. I mean, I would always want to be on the team fight side of that. I would want to be any of the gods on the other side. I would not want to be facing a Kali, a Hugh Huang, or a Fed Ho Yi. If any of them are going to be ahead, it's going to be very, very scary. I think the amount of damage coming late game from Hugh Huang and Kali is going to be absolutely nuts, especially with the amount of shred that Hugh Huang is going to be able to give for the team, especially with Khepri, with the Khepri grab already reducing protections. And the marking from Ho Yi just going to be able to shred tanks. I think that Kumbhakarna is going to have to do very well not to get picked off this game if they're going to have any chance of having a front line, as Ravana is not that great at making being a frontline tank if it's the only frontline tank. So I got to give it to Panic, 100%.
Well, I think it's time to put it to the chat and let them decide. There's a poll out there, so you go ahead and cast your votes for who you think won draft. I'd really like to hear your input as well from everybody that's watching. Now we got to take into account the players, and then the question is, did Pumpkin's Patch do what needs to be done to make the adjustments to be able to win this game too?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be really difficult for them to be able to try to reverse this. I mean, you would be so demoralized, absolute spanking in the first match. I think coming into the second one, it's going to be pretty important for them to come in with a positive mindset if they're going to be able to do anything onto this game. As I just realized that it's actually a Kronos solo instead of a Chernobog solo. So I believe we saw Chernobog solo in a game last week or earlier on this week. So interesting to see that we have a Kronos this time. What are your thoughts about having carries in solo lane?
Well, I think that we're kind of in a meta where anything goes in solo lane, but you know the problem there is not having a tank, and maybe they feel like the way that that Panic was diving like crazy in the previous game, having a tank's almost irrelevant. They're getting past them, they're doing a ton of damage, etc. Maybe they just want to be able to get more damage out, the CC from the Kronos. As far as like how I feel about it, not a super big fan, to be perfectly honest, unless I am that ADC in the solo lane. If I'm playing in mid, I want a tanky boy. I want CC. I want setup. You do your job, let me do my job. And so I don't know how much this is going to help them, but I am seeing it working, and I am seeing other teams doing it. So we're going to see if they can make this work.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I really hope that we get to see this Hugh Huang pop off. I know that in high elo, it's very high prized god, and like we were saying before, how in the low elo, it's not something that's going to be prioritized all that much, as people are still thinking that he's quite bad. But the innate ability to be able to shred protections, which is the best way of reducing protections in the game, is shredding them, because it affects not only the amount of damage that you're going to be able to put out onto someone yourself, but your entire team as well. as the Dow Collector is very, very good at doing. But and the ultimate as well, getting a nice buff in width and in power as well, is going to be a pretty scary thing to come up against late game.
Absolutely. I have yet to actually do damage with his ultimate. There's something about it that I find very difficult to understand the target or what's happening. But when I see people that use it effectively, it is an effective ult, and one I don't want to be on the receiving end of, for sure.
Yeah, no. I mean, if you're able to get it and get the two dragons to both hit you in the center after you've already been shredded, I'm gonna chunk you late game. But I mean, that's not why you're using the god. I mean, almost most of the time you're going to be using it for self peel. So it's going to be really interesting to see what they're going to be doing, as we're going to get a pretty standard starts here. Hopefully.
Yeah, it actually looks like that we're in a pause right now, as the game timer's not ticking. So we'll just see once we get this game started how it's going to play out. There we go. We are taking off now. So last I looked, okay. So there is a mini map toggle button, and it is M. I don't see anybody on the mini map. There it is. Now we got them. So what I am noticing is, yeah, blue team Pumpkin's Patch is hanging out at the red buff. So they are doing the other start, the one that I think they intended to do last game. We're going to see how this plays. My opinion, and tell me if you've got a different one, is that you start red if you think the other dual lane is going to have pressure. Sorry, the other mid lane, the mid laner and the jungler are going to have pressure right off the start. If you're not going to out clear them, just let them clear that mid wave, and then you show up and get all the XP at tower.
I mean, yeah, if you think they're going to lose mid pressure anyways, you might as well just do that, because of the spawning on either side of the harpies. That being said, I just want to correct myself. It isn't protection shred; it is protection reduction, which is the not as good, but still good. And that scales quite heavily per tick of 4 to 12 for 3 seconds, on a pretty low cooldown ability at 9 seconds total. So it's just gonna get immediate pressure off the back.
Just immediate pressure.
Everyone, as we're gonna get a gank here in solo lane, which is the very good part about doing this start from jungle, is that you get to be in solo lane way faster than the opponent's jungle. But it looks like this Baron's just gonna back up and deal with it, and not give anything for this Ravana to do. As Kali's gonna walk over. Surely they know that she's there. Does not know that she's there, actually. Forces the beats out.
Quick
interesting that Swift didn't know the timing on that one, unfortunately, as Ravana's still just not doing anything, trying to come over finally to be able to even out pressure. Decides not to help with the wave and the wave pressure at all, and just goes for the harpies. Might get caught here. They decide to just go over to the other harpies instead and handshake them.
Yeah, they must be content then to just farm as much as they can, sort of recognizing that they don't want to take fights unless that they're very much in their favor. I can imagine after the last game being a little gun shy.
Yeah, as the advantage of Realize playing a Chronos in the solo lane is that you're going to be able to get a lot of healing, max HP healing over time, but this Baron Samedi is going to be able to spam abilities on you left, right, and center.
Yeah, absolutely. And for that matter, Chronos doesn't have a leap that allows him to jump after he gets rooted. So if he gets hit by that snake that holds him in place after a couple of seconds, he just has to eat whatever follow-up damage there is. The only option he has is to ult it.
Yeah, 100%. I think that we're going to see some really sick bounces coming out of Armor Wolf this game. I'm going to call it right now. Yeah. I think it's going to be really, really nice. I believe that they played it before in Prem and got some really nasty bounces as well.
Well, I can't wait to see, and make sure you write them all down, because I want to know where the good bounces are on the map.
Yeah, for sure. I'm just going to start a prediction here for this game of who the people think are going to win this match.
Well, let me tell you, I am a fan of the players on Pumpkin's Patch, and I want to see them do as well as possible, and I'm always looking for a Game 3, so I hope they pull it back. Although First Blood going to Krasen against a Realize definitely puts things in Panic's favor right now. They're coming out of the gates again, and hopefully Pumpkin's Patch doesn't get too demoralized by that as well.
Yeah, here's hoping that they're going to be able to not let this game slip as quickly as they did last game.
We've got a full rotation coming over to the duo lane. Jump in from mid-man, gets the stun against EMT. EMT resets his positioning. Just a little bit of damage trade. Doesn't look like it's going to turn into anything right away. But Panic at the Discordia, having the pressure that came from that gank, now skewing away this purple buff. Ping's coming over, I think trying to get mid to rotate. No, telling mid that he's getting rotated on. We've got the blink from the Kali.
Yeah, as I was like,
danger.
Great gank. I mean, they're just trying to really focus down Swift, I think, this game. Making sure that he's not going to be able to bully out Wingman Ghost here, as the weakest part of Hugh Huang's game is definitely his early. So seeing him getting a lot of attention from the jungler is actually really, really nice. It's going to get a full dive here onto dual lane, as EMT is going to get slowly chunked out and almost dies. Lana's going to get chunked out, unfortunately, almost to low. So he's going to walk him down all the way to lane.
Yeah, there's going to be a kill on either lane any second now, and I hardly even know where to look. It looks like dual lane's going to get to back. Meanwhile, Kronos is just hanging out between his two tiers. I guess Swiftfish is just going to have to get as much XP as he can, try not to fall behind with all this pressure that's coming from these different rotations that we're seeing.
Yeah, no, this is going to be a tough one, I think, for Pumpkins, especially considering that you want this reset to be super aggressive in mid lane and try to put all the pressure on both. The amount of visits that Scully's giving is nearly impossible to do anything against this Hugh Huang. Really, really nice protections.
Now, a lot of pressure, but I do got to point out, at this point in the game, I don't remember it distinctly, but I think Freya had 40 kills. So this is a change of pace. Only 1 kill at the 5-minute mark, 6-minute mark now. You know, I think Pumpkin's Patch is at very least playing this a little more cautiously from the start.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about 40 kills, but definitely had some kills coming up at this point in the game. But yeah, I mean, it's just constant pressure from Panic at the Discordia, really forcing Pumpkin's Patch to play a game of response and not a game of being in the front foot at all. Solana is just going to get hooked out a little bit here. Actually getting caught fully by this Khepri. A really nice grab into the root, into the ultimate. Does get the pushback, but the ultimate from Lana is going to be able to walk that one out.
Yeah, there's so much displacement between the Khepri and the ultimate from the Huang. That is difficult. Oh, Swiftfish has to pop the ultimate. In danger from the Kali. Gets to wing gust out.
Yeah, I mean, doesn't even heal from it, unfortunately. But that's what I've been saying. The amount of pressure that they're putting on right now, even as Kali early game, as they're going to get an invade here, is really impressive. As there's going to be an ultimate from Chernobog all the way back into dual lane with an item advantage, forcing out the Hou Yi ulti on the other side of the map, going all the way for a full dive here. Misses the stun, unfortunately. Can you hit a ricochet? It's coming up in a second. Unfortunately, misses that one. But Armwolf just doesn't miss auto attacks. EMT, unfortunately, is getting absolutely chunked out.
Yeah, he's certainly landing a lot. At least they're at the same point in build at the moment, so that doesn't necessarily mean that EMT can't, you know, at least hang in there. When it's a Freya with a whole ring ahead of you, then it's a different story. Meanwhile, EMT hanging out, waiting for the gank coming from 3 Maniacs. 3 Maniacs lurking in the jungle.
Really good bait here from EMT, actually. Really good job at trying to pull Armorwolf as far back as possible. But I think they just waited way too long. I mean, they invited all this pressure to come back onto them, as allowing Wingman to be able to rotate over. I think if they were going to do it, they had to do it right away, as Maniacs was waiting for way too long to be able to go in on that. There was no wards covering you, so very surprised it took that long. But they're inviting all this pressure back over as Lana's just going to be able to dash out of that one. But Armor Wolf is going to be able to fully dive here onto the tower. And they're going to get another dive into the response from the Ravana. Ravana's going to get over the wall and go straight for the ADC. And hopefully we're going to be able to switch over to it as we get a full switch finally into the ultimate. Doesn't have the root just yet, coming up in about a second. Really preemptive beads there, but does get the beads eventually, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, so preemptive. It was before the ability happened. It never happened.
Yeah,
But
really nice stun. Really nice stun.
The game sense from Armor Wolf to realize that the Robin had backed off far enough that he could just turn around and get that kill. Yeah, I really hate to see that. That had to be bad communication between the carry and jungle in that moment.
I think EMT just didn't think that Armor Wolf was going to have ultimate up again. I think that it must have just came back onto timer to be able to pick it up and get the full bounce kill. Now, I'm not too sure if the ricochet occurred onto the rock to be able to get that stun to get the bonus damage onto this activation, but it did look like it was just a straight stun into that slow. And if you are marked with that slow, you're actually slowed, and that slow is painful. I think it is 40% when you are marked, and it is really, really difficult to be able to move in that one, especially after you get stunned.
Yeah, and those stuns do damage. They do.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think that it is a very, very difficult situation to be in. I think it's one of the best 1v1 gods in the game. Sidebar maybe you have on here instead, but it's good to see that Armor Wolf is able to flex this hard in this game in one of these prem matches, as showing off the real power as we use a Hugh Wang ulti very early on, as he's going to chunk out Swiftfish almost to the last breath. It's going to force you to have to get the shield out of the silence. I think might have been able to get him a little bit lower, almost kill him, if not. But I mean, the amount of pressure they're putting out with this Hugh Wang right now is absolutely immense.
At least Swift was able to back with his life. Oh, another ultimate. The ult to respond, but where is he going to land? Oh, immediately drops back down, uses a dash, manages to survive, but if he goes up to clear this wave, I don't know that that's not the end of EMT.
Yeah, I think EMT is just going to be really, really careful here, doing anything, because the amount of percent HP that you're at where it's going to be killable for, that's an unfortunate miss ×2 from Maniacs. You gotta hit those in chat. I don't think it's gonna matter. Armor Wolf's just gonna be able to walk away. And it's just gonna be
now the counter rotation.
Probably is gonna get really just hunting for the ADC. Gonna accept the fact they're gonna go for Maniacs. Does get the stun on the beads. Really good leap by Armor Wolf. I mean, still an ulti on the Khepri to save anyone that they want. I mean, this is just a death. Just trying to slow it down right now. Waste as much time as possible from the jungler and the team, as Ravana's going to be able to get away. But Young Cub, again, another game where he's just being absolutely annoying as possible. If he's going to get the grab there, yeah, really good grab. Probably still has ult. He's going to be able to go all the way in, gets the stun off into the damage. Really nice Kumba ulti into the ultimate. An even better cleanse from Midman and the ulti in response as well. You had to be perfectly on time for that one. I think Swift was maybe a little bit slow on the ultimate activation. Not to get that kill, as you are able to get the kill before activations on Kumba ultimate with frames, but losing a lot of HP on this tower, and it's just pressure. Every single lane has pressure right now, and it's really, really hard for Pumpkin's patch to deal with. But I do like Lana on this Kumba pick. I think is doing a lot more this game than last game for sure.
I think that was an excellent CC chain that she was able to pop out, and it did get
my god. Yeah, that damage is absolutely absurd already. I mean, you already have a full, going for a double stack actually on the Hugh Wang. Just like the Baba Yaga, it doesn't even matter. No flat pen at all.
You know, when you've got so much power, it's who even needs pen.
Yeah, I mean, it is absolutely absurd. Yeah, and I mean, the, what's it called? Yeah, it's a 40% slow coming out from Sunbreaker on the Hou Yi if they are marked with the Golden Crow, which is absolutely crazy to think about. It's going to get a full commit here. Midman 5 going for 3 Maniacs is going to almost get a solo kill. Really nice stun. Very interesting up-down from Midman or from Three Maniacs. I think expecting there to be a little more of a dive, as there's a full ult coming over from the Chernobog, trying to run away from the Ho Yi.
Yeah, I
He's
was gonna
dying
say
in the
that was an
process
escape ult,
anyways.
I believe. He was rolling the dice on that one, but managed to get out. So I think good play in that he did choose a path where he was able to escape. Oh, and now Lana getting caught out at her own red buff. With way more enemies than allies nearby.
Yeah, no, it's just going to be able to get some quick, easy invades. The Three Maniacs is going to get punished here for trying to do anything at all in his own jungle. They're going to be able to get the kill there. Unfortunately, we missed it, but looking at to get some more team fighting. They're going to get another kill just off camera from the Hugh Wang, getting another kill. Really nice up down. But even better,
right into the Mez.
Missed the blink, but it's going to be so much damage to be able to go onto this. Yeah, and like I said before, the passive is going to die instantly with Midman's auto attacks.
Yeah.
It's looking rough. I mean, it's not nearly as fast as last game, but they are almost at a 5k lead now. Really good immunity from Krasen. Or Realize, sorry, to be able to get out of that one. And Krasen with an even better beads. But there just has to be something. There has to be action instead of reaction coming out of Pumpkin Patch to be able to turn this game around right now. As EMT is aiming some towers right now.
Yeah, he is proxying the wave. I guess feeling like that's the safest place for him to clear tower. I don't know if that will be true,
ultimate.
But we'll find out.
As he is discovered, who he is coming over to investigate. You're not getting out of that one, my friend. As they were doing gold. All you need is one auto. Yep, that's going to be a free kill onto EMT. Does get the ultimate eventually, going straight into the mid lane, as we do have a fight there. Actually, Hugh Wang getting dove. With that immunity, it's going to be really difficult to dive him with the beads on top of it. And a really nice self-peel for Wingman. I mean, it's just unbelievable anti-dive on the Hugh Wang. As Realize is trying to do anything and everything to get ahead of this other jungler. You don't have the ultimate as fast as Krasen does, but even with beads, I mean, come on, Lana, get it. Really nice route into the damage. Nicely done. Really nice ulti in response. Not realizing, ironically, that the self-heal is there. They're going to die for it, as they could have just ran away, but is not going to get that in response, as the Kali's going to pump out a lot of damage into Lana. Lana's going to be able to get hopefully out of this one, as there's no stuns to be followed up. Three Maniacs there for the cover-up. So we're going to try to get this Pyro. It looks like Pumpkin Patch is able to secure it, but does trade a kill for 2, actually, to be able to get that Pyromancer. I mean, I bet you that Pyromancer was worth more than both of them, so not a horrific trade. Really good timing onto that leap from Midman. Going for full dive here. Does have the ultimate. Is tanking for all of it, and gets a nice shutdown. And doesn't even use the ultimate. And really good communication from Young Cub. Instead, using the Khepri ulti instead of the Kali ulti, arguably more important in team fights, as I don't think Maniacs are going to be able to do much onto this Armor Wolf. I mean, Armor Wolf is kind of missing everything and still kicking your butt really, really hard. As going to be able to get more auto attacks. Yeah, really hard to miss big circles. That's why I love him so much. Then you have full dive here into auto attacks. I mean, I'm not too sure what that thought process was. You don't even have trans finished.
Yeah. Did it seem like he was almost running underwater? Like, there was just something strangely slow about that.
Ooh, unfortunately, EMT missing the full combo there. Really good Aegis from Armor Wolf, immuning the ranged auto attacks. He's going to play a little bit of round around. Is just going to jump over the wall again.
The dash already
on the other way, and just going to be able to get out easy like that.
Well, that was well played by Armor Wolf to not get killed there. You know, I want to give credit to Lana, because I feel like she very much put her team on the board with the first kill. You know, went to Realize, but that was 100% set up from her. Played it really well, but then the counter dive just was too much. And so now it's like Pumpkins needs to figure out where they're going to, you know, get their value, because they've got so much stacked against them.
Yeah, I mean, this Hugh Wang on the unfortunately misses Chernobog, but Chernobog is 1v3 right now, no ulti, because he used it on going for an up down onto the other ADC, and they're just gonna get absolutely chunked down and punished, as there's nothing in response on the other side of the map, as they are kind of grouped around Baron, but that Baron can just walk away with a full HP tower defending him. as they are going to try to do anything in response to this one. As ESET is on the other side of the map, trying to 1v4, gets caught out. They do get a response in Krasen. Nice to see that there is a little bit of a response from Pumpkin's patches.
Yeah, this is that potential win condition that they're seeing, is they find any place that they can exploit. And if it's 3 people diving the solo laner, then so be it. They got that tower. They're starting to close the gold gap a little bit, or at very least stem the bleeding. You know, get what you can get.
I mean, they chose one ADC and they said, you're going to be the new carry now, as he's going to get a free tier 2 towers. No one's going to be able to respond to it in time. But the Kali's going to be there. There's no stun coming from Chronos. Chronos is going to get the ulti, going to get the abilities back up, but not much more than that. Moonman's going to just do an up-down with that stun, as there's going to be a full rotation to try to cut off this really nice blink coming out of Realize. Just full warrant as another solo kill from Armor Wolf onto EMT. That's really unfortunate, as greeting a little bit from Realize, trying to get that blue buff. There's going to be a lot of burst damage coming out. No ulti, no stun, going to come up in half a second. That doesn't matter if you're going to get ultied anyways. And then another 3-man dive onto solo lane.
Yeah.
If you can do it, we can do it better, right?
That is exactly right. You know, I think you identified it. They acknowledged that since the Chronos was level 17, 18 now, you know, let's just get him to 20. Let's get him full build. That's going to be our damage for now. We can let EMT just safe farm wherever he can find it. But then the counter response to that was, okay, well, we'll shut him down then.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely something that is going to be.
Oh,
are they going to get a kill here on Armor Wolf? Yeah, no, that's just a free kill. They're going to be able to pick up the primal as well. Actually, I would want to see. Yeah, I mean, I would have actually liked to see Young Cub go straight to the other side of the map and take Fire Giant. I really do think that their team could have done it in time, but decides to try to get some kills here instead.
Yeah,
really
not
try
when
to
there's
pad up
kills
the
to be
stats
had.
and punish. They do find them, as Kepri's going to be able to get a really nice run into 2, really nice damage into them, but because of the towers, they're not going to be able to do much more. And Lana is trying to protect their ADC, make sure that there's no dive there, and just walk out.
I think I just saw the Chronos ult get used.
Yep, I saw it too. I think that was a bit of a fat finger, unfortunately.
It might have been, because he just went right back to his jungle for no apparent reason.
But I tell you what, though, with his pendant, his own pendant, he's gonna be able to get that up pretty quickly.
Yeah, Chronos building Chronos pendant. It's a novel idea. I like also building Book of Thoth on Thoth.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's actually a bad item on him. But now it's a good item with the amount of power that you're going to get in the pen. As Young Cub's just going to do anything he wants up against the now beadsless Swiftfish. And just going to be able to chunk him out to half HP. I mean, that's just so easy pressure. Now, and they're just going to free Pyromancer unless we're going to get a steal here from Realize. But I very much doubt it. Just going to go for the blue buff instead.
Yeah, it seems that they can just walk into the Panic can just walk into Pumpkin Patch's jungle with no fear. There's almost no consequences. They just get to go where they want, take what XP they want.
Yeah, I mean it's much less of a lead than last game. It's a lot closer. They're gonna get a full Realize combo here, almost bursting through it. As the ulti is just gonna suck you right back in, good sir. See you later. Have a good night. Getting caught out there. Maybe Realize was thinking that they were doing Fire Giant, so he wanted to make sure that they was there for it. But let's try this again, Maniacs. Let's see if you can pull this one off on Armor Wolf. As it's really nice up down to be able to get rid of the amount of damage mitigation. As they're gonna miss a lot of abilities from Armor Wolf, and they do eventually get that solo kill. Nice to see that there is going to be a response actually from the jungler of Pumpkin's Patch.
That was big. I don't think that can actually be overstated. Taking Armor Wolf out for 45 seconds, you know, getting the XP, you know, obviously the shutdown's already happened, but still a lot of value. He's level 20. That ticks Robin, that ticks 3 Maniacs over to level 20 right now. I think that that really is a big deal for him.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of gold, a lot of shutdown. Was 7-1 going into that, as well as you can see that the Ravana is actually going to be building a full defensive item, potentially Nemean with that Witchblade, giving him enough defense to be able to get a full stack from it. And we do have a shell from Kumba, and I'm not sure if the interaction is still here. But if you didn't know, if you shell someone with a stack from Nemean Lion, they have Nemean Lion up and ready, you're invulnerable to auto attacks during the duration of the shell until that shell is broken.
An interesting. That is an interesting interaction that I was not aware of until you said it.
Yeah, it's a really cool interaction. A little bit broken. I think that's going to be changed. I don't know what they're going to be able to do for it, but something about that is going to get changed in the follow-up patch. Now, we do see a split push Chronos here, knowing that 4 members are on the other side of the map. Kali is going to be able to come in for a response. As he's going to get a free ulti off, and Ravana is actually going to come back and see if they can get a trade here. Or not. They're just going to abandon the soul laner and realize he's just going to try to do anything, and he's just going to die. I mean, I think Maniacs realized that the rest of the team was going to be able to rotate over, and decides not to risk 2 deaths instead of just the 1 and not try to save his soul laner. I mean, it just feels bad when both of your carries are 1-5 and 0-6, and now your tank is dead and the other carry is about to be dead with the full commit from Midman is going to be able to get that one, as they're just going to run down this team. I mean, it doesn't even seem that Pumpkin's patches are ready for team fights. I think that Panic is just running at you, and of course that's the best way to not have to worry about your backline, is if you're always moving forward. So
yeah, there's no backline. It's just
no.
a wave.
Unfortunately, he misses. Oh my goodness, that's a 1 shot from Wingman from 70 HP. My god. As Midman does still have ulti. There we go. Finally uses it onto 3 Maniacs. Can you outlast it is the question. Does not, and still gets the ulti from Young Man, or Young Cub, Young Man himself.
He's growing up now.
Yeah, he's in his 50s at this point, as they're just going to be taking on this Fire Giant here. Gets it for free. Nice little anti-warding with Seer of the jungle. And they're just going to run it down with this Trebuchet onto tower and hopefully get a tier 2, if not a Phoenix, on this defend, as everyone's going to be popping back up again.
I feel like Pumpkin's patch has done a lot better a job keeping them from steamrolling and going crazy, but now that we've gotten to this stage of the game, it seems like Panic has just stepped on the gas pedal, and you know, they took a 5k lead, turned it into a 9k lead in a matter of a minute, and they are going for this Phoenix, it looks like.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to get full command to this one. They're going to get a really nice Baron ulti to pull all of them in and get a lot of damage off, as this Baron is actually getting chunked out of his mind, as Chernobog decides to finally join the fight, and Ravana's going to respawn. Really nice damage from Swiftfish with the snipe on the stun, to be able to get the spear ball onto the backlines. Lana's going to get chunked out even more, as they're going to get killed actually by Wingman. Wingman's going to get a nice long distance ult on that dragon, as they're just going to be able to farm some damage with that electricity going back and forth, as Midman is going to try to look for an angle onto this 3 Maniacs, who still hasn't finished his defense item. There's no Trebuchet, but you do have minions coming in here. If there's a time and a place, you do it now. There's low HP on Swiftfish. This comes to dive on. There it is, and it's going to be a blink under the sun into the damage, onto the very early ulti into the burst damage. As the kill shot always likes to say, it's going to die actually. No, there is an ulti. Really nice timing from Young Cub, doing the same combo over and over and over again. 3 Maniacs is going to be able to get a kill in the backline onto Armor Wolf. That's a really massive pickup. There's going to be another dive onto the Midman. Midman does not get the reset that he wanted, actually does not get the full damage, but EMT is going to be able to walk this one away and realize what the ulti is going to be able to get full HP. Is going to get a root, unfortunately misses, but the amount of damage that's going to be ticking down from Wingman is immense, as we're going to be backing off and looking at going maybe for Gold Fury here, or a tier 2 tower. Good defense.
Absolute bloodbath, but yes, the defense was good. The Phoenix still stands, and you know what? Pumpkin's patch gave as good as they got. You know, the damage was substantial coming out of Panic, but they managed to get Armor Wolf and Midman in that fight, and I can't think of any two better to take off the chessboard for that minute or so during the cooldown.
I mean, yeah, it's really nice to see that Pumpkin is actually putting up a fighting chance. I mean, for once, I think that we see someone above, or the entire team of Pumpkin's patch below Panic at Discordia's damage numbers, as we're going to be looking just at the graphs here for the amount of XP and gold is it should be slowing down a little bit. Yeah, nice little uptick
Oh yeah,
for
yeah.
the team
Looks
of
like a hockey
Pumpkin
stick now.
Patch. That is, you are not from Canada if you think that's a hockey stick. Yeah, I was going to be going for just to pick up on gold, maybe get the tier 2 towers out of the way, as there's still going to be Fire Giant on Wingman Ghost and Young Cub. As this Khepri Kali combo is an absolute menace right now for anyone in the backline. I mean, even if you don't get a reset or on mid-man, you're still going to get revived to at least 40% HP or close to it with Young Cub's ultimate. So
Yeah,
nice to
I
see.
think that the two in tandem was a strategy. They've clearly implemented it. I've seen Khepri reses on other players, but not by any huge margin. Clearly, the plan is to keep an eye on mid-man and communicate when to use Kali ult, when to use Khepri ult, and just keep him alive and let him dive hard. And it has worked all but one time.
Yeah, and I mean, they're going to be, I think Krasen's just going to do anything that he can to try to keep Maniacs here, as they're going to be able to go for a Phoenix dive. As Maniacs is actually trying to do as much damage as possible into the kill, but that's mid-man just diving Swiftfish, not letting him live, and there's going to be the Khepri ulti in response, going straight into the backline. Realized really good responses to Armor Wolf. I think Armor Wolf is getting a little lazy with some of these dodges as Maniacs is able to get the kill in mid lane on Krasen, like I was saying before. And they're going to be able to push them back once again. I mean, these are just really good defenses from Pumpkin's Patch. I think that Panic really needs to either full commit onto this or not commit at all, as Young Cub's going to get chunked out here. Not too sure if they're going to be able to catch him again, but EMT is going to go straight for Wingman. Wingman's going to get a nice immunity. And remember, there's no ulti on Khepri. Really nice bounce back to be able to push them away. So they're going to be able to get a lot of damage here. It's going to be tough. They do know that the Kali is coming. It's even really good ulti coming out from alternate timeline, yeah, in response as the going to face check right into the Kali. Unfortunately, is going to get a kill and a really nice trade from Wingman. Wingman is going to be able to chase down this Lana as Ravana is going to come back for a vengeance, trying to do anything to help out the support, as they're going to go into a really nice mez. Jungler's not going to come over in time, misses the root, unfortunately. Misses the ability for the kick as well.
Lana down.
Oh no, definitely could have gotten a kill there, unfortunately, as Midman still has ultimate. Or almost doesn't have ultimate, I should say. He thinks he has ultimate and doesn't go in for it and dies for it.
It looks
that
so
is
good for
so
Pumpkin's
unfortunate.
Patch, chasing into that jungle, and then it all went wrong.
Yeah, I think that Maniacs really thought that Midman had the ultimate, and that's just the amount of confidence coming out of Midman this game. I think really just running it down, even low HP, like the fight that they had around Scorpion earlier on in the match, was fighting very low HP with the ultimate, and I think that the amount of fake hand that they showed there was enough to dissuade Maniacs from chasing. But they do get the kill in the end on Maniacs, and they do get the EFG, and I'd like to see the defense again from Pumpkin's Patch on this one, because it's going to be a lot harder.
Yeah, I hope they can do it again. With the EFG, that definitely changes the landscape. We've seen really good defense coming out of Pumpkin's Patch. I think really coordinated play. There is value coming out of this draft that they've picked. We just need to see them take it up a level and make sure that their comms and their communications after the defense, if it's successful, is good and clear, because I think that there was a little bit of push and pull going on with that last little after the defense moment. It's like just jockeying for position at this point. It's a matter of time to figure out how this is going to play out. Poke coming out from both teams, but it's just a matter of waiting for the minions, looking for the initiate moment. They keep clearing the wave.
Yeah, I think they just have to commit, to be honest. I think Khepri's going to have to get a root or a grab onto someone to be able to do really nice bounce, actually. That might be the signal. That is a half HP ADC who is overstepping a little bit. As they're going to get a nice pull. Unfortunately, doesn't get the ADC, but they do get the support, as they do get the full combo that they wanted, and they're going to be able to full commit. That's a lot of damage very, very quickly onto the Chronos. Chronos is going to be able to get the ult to be able to walk away from that one. Does not have the ultimate timeline up just yet, as They're going to get a full face check from the Kali, as Kali's going to be able to get onto the backline right now and go on to the D-set. D-set's going to die. They're going to get a full dive with that EFG, and they're going to be able to full command onto it. And no Khepri ult needed. They just absolutely burst them down. As that Chernobog is trying to do anything for this game to save. So it doesn't look like it's going to be happening. As that is going to be game 2, going over to the Panic at the Disco. Very clean first set. Very clean second set. I mean, I think Panic at the Disco is the hottest team in the league right now, and they're definitely showing it.
Yeah, that was really good play coming out of Panic at the Discordia. I think that Pumpkins Patch did a great job of doing everything they could to stem the bleeding. The defenses were good, but the pressure, the coordination coming out of Panic, that was what it takes to win games at this elite level, and they executed it really well. So I think now we just take a look and see. First of all, I'd like to see if we can get some interviews in here. I think that I'd like to hear from Panic themselves what they thought of that game, what their comms was like. And then on top of that, I was just thinking about the builds here, if there was a specific strategy that they were going for that we didn't have a chance to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, I think that this game was a lot better for Pumpkins Patch. I think that they did better, but still missing a lot of keys, especially during team fights. I don't think they were ever really prepared for them. They were never the initiators in a lot of these fights. It's nice to see Maniacs putting up some work, at least going even in that game, as well as some more kills across the board. But I mean, if we look at the builds, hopefully in a moment. But yeah, we can see that the damage numbers on the Hugh Wang was absolutely massive. I think that that god should have stayed banned. But I mean, what can you do? You can only ban 3 gods, right, at the very start. So yeah, I mean,
The
pretty
damage
standard
was
stuff from
massive.
the entire team. Looking at builds, I mean, it's really interesting to see the build difference from Chernobog to Ho Yi on who's ahead and who's not. There's a lot of budget items on EMT with that oboe into Silver Branch and going into the crit at the end. Obviously, not wanting to go crit against a Ho Yi in a 1v1. Obviously, not something that you really want to do with his
Right.
passive.
And if you can't attack the backline at all, you just got to go for tank shred as best you can. I think that this is a good build path from Chernobog. It's just he was too far behind too early to be able to make it really work.
Yeah, 100%. And looks like we're going to be able to get an interview going on right now. It's going to have Young Cubs team and some of the team members coming in. We have Midman, Solus, and Young Cub coming in on this one.
Hello.
Gentlemen, welcome to the call. Great set. Nice to see you guys play that one out.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, really good game coming out of you guys. Very impressed with the overall performance. As you were drafting into the second game, did you have an overall strategy that you were looking for?
I'll take this one. Yeah, we have some picks that we really kind of want to grab. You know, like the Mickey gods, the top of the top in each role. And when we saw them kind of throw away a ban on Uller, we were kind of thinking like if we throw away some bans, we might be able to get more than one like top pick or something like that. But once we had the Cali, it just kind of made sense to go Khepri Cali and do some nonsense with that, and then the rest of the team kind of fell in place. We just kind of counterpicked after that, and yeah, happy with how it turned out.
Yeah, we definitely saw you execute that really well, the Kali Khepri ults.
Yeah, they were really well timed. I was telling him, I was like, oh, ult me, ult me, ult me. And he was getting it. Yeah, anytime these Mickey gods are open, we're trying to get them because they're very easy to play. They keep giving to me, and they respect Band Horus. I don't mind playing them.
Was there a thought process going into the second game when they let Horus through, since we're on this subject?
Yeah, that's what I was going to bring up.
Horus, I don't like into Baka because like I have 2 abilities that count as leaps. So like I can get crippled and it's not fun.
Right,
so
of course.
That would deter me from that pick.
Yeah, no, for sure. And just looking at the full team play of this game versus last game, do you think that going into any other matchups in these coming weeks, do you think anyone can match your team in team fights? Because it looks like you have it down on lock.
Thank you. That's nice.
Yeah, from what we've heard, the Glizzy squad, although maybe falling apart, I don't really know, but we've heard they have just an insane team synergy. So we obviously have some really great mechanical players, and they have really good team synergy. So we're excited to get to play them if we ever get the chance to play them. We've postponed twice, but I think that's kind of the team to beat for us now. So yeah, I think it'll be a battle of good team fights and mechanics, and I think that's an exciting set to watch
Can
whenever
we
it
talk
happens.
about how Wingman is deathless, like both games?
Yeah, well, I
Yeah.
actually was going to bring up the Yu Huang. Just first of all, what do you think about the Yu Huang pick? We noticed that it's strong in the higher levels, not so much in the others. What do you think that difference is? And then, how'd your boy do it? What's his secret sauce? How is it he's unkillable?
I think the difference is just knowing how to use ult. It's really hard. Like, if you don't know what you're doing, like you can do some real cool stuff with it. Like a couple of times, I don't know if I actually pulled it off, but I tried to throw it in the wall and then come at like the side. And then what was the second part of the question?
Just how is it you're unkillable?
Oh, I don't know. I
He's
just I
just
pressed
better. It's
I
simple. He's
I
just
pressed the
better.
buttons and
The
basically
science?
no, just put me on the fantasy team. That's all you need to know.
Fair enough.
Uh,
Well,
Unfortunately, I would have picked you up on my fantasy team, but I didn't have Armor Wolf on it already. Um, and of course,
Which is giving you a lot of points.
two major MVP performances out of yourself and Armor Wolf in game 1 and game 2, respectively. But yeah, I mean, any other questions, Nate?
yeah, no, nothing else to say other than great set. Really think you guys did a good job. You clearly had a strategy and you executed it well.
I want to say
Absolutely.
great job at casting and great camera work. That camera work was amazing.
Yo, chill. But anyways, also shout out to Pumpkins Patch. I wish we could have played against the full squad with a little bit Asian on their team, but y'all played well and it was a really fun set, and we hope
Yeah,
to
it really
see
was.
you again soon. So thanks for having us, guys, and we'll catch you next week.
Very well said.
All
Appreciate the
right.
sentiment.
Thank you, everyone, for coming in. I'm just going to send you guys over to the lounge for you guys to chill out for a little bit, as we are going to be able to get a interview here with Swiftfish in a moment. Um, but yeah, no, I mean, it's going to be really difficult. I think this is a wake up call for the rest of the Premier League coming into the mid-season shuffle. I think there's going to be a lot of changes for a lot of the bottom teams, especially considering that they're going to have the advantage going into our waiver system that we have, being the first ones to be able to pick up any of the free agents that are in the pool. And there are a lot of really good free agents, a couple of GMs, a couple of Masters players that I think would really be able to shake out the squad for some of these lower end teams to try to bridge the gap or the canyon, as someone said inside a chat, to teams like this and Glizzies as well.
Yeah, it certainly could have a big effect on what we see in coming up teams. Once you start trading out a few different players or something like that, then you have no idea what that team's going to play like. So it's going to be interesting what the midseason shuffle does for these premier teams for sure.
Yeah, 100%. As we do actually have the caps. Apologies. We do actually have Swiftfish from Pumpkins Patch coming into this interview. Swift, what up, my guy?
Yo, what's up? How
Just
are y'all
wanted to
doing tonight?
say we're doing good. I just wanted to say and do a quick little interview before we head off tonight. What was going into this game, into the first game? What was the game plan? Did you have one? I saw that you did ban the Horus, but was there anything else that you guys were going for?
I'll be honest, we weren't super that worried about this set, to be honest. Like, we knew like Panic had a really strong core of players coming into the season, and while I think my team has like really good potential, we kind of knew, especially without Asian being on our team, who's our primary shot caller, it's gonna be pretty rough trying to get things going in this game. So our main goal was just trying to test stuff out, to be honest. Like, I want to try out the ESET that set, and I feel like it. Well, we got dumpstered both games in a row. We learned some stuff that we can use, go back in VODs and stuff. So we're mainly just looking forward to our set tomorrow. To be honest.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough. Was there any sort of? I know that after the damage was dealt after that first game, what was your mentality going into that second? Were you already ready to hang up the God pack, or were you ready with guns blazing?
I think we honestly weren't that worried going into it. We had some technical issues going into game one, but due to like the game already being behind, we were having issues with game chat, and we tried to like scuff it out through Discord. But being a full team of console players makes it a bit not preferable, to say at least on Discord. But going into game two, like I said, we were just mainly on want to try some stuff, see if we can feel some stuff out, and I feel like we got what we wanted across. Like we held the mid game a lot better than we did in game one. Like we kept ourselves in it till around they certainly still had a pretty substantial lead throughout the whole game, but we weren't like counted out till pretty much the very end. So I'm happy about the way we played game two.
Yeah, I think that the defense in game two was absolutely noticeable. Like, just between not letting the lead grow very fast at all, like, keeping up in general, and then B, the Phoenix defenses themselves seemed to be really good and tight. Was there a specific thing, a specific like strategy or something that you guys said or did in comms that gave you that better defense?
One of the things we wanted to go going into this set is being really hyper aggressive on objectives with the E set. And while we were like pretty substantially behind, we still like managed to get like a substantial amount of objectives being like how far like tempo behind we were in the game. I believe we got like a Gold Fury and 2 Pyros or something along those lines, which when you're 5k gold behind is like nothing to scoff about. It at least keeps the gold even. Even if you're like taking losses on it, like even on the Pyro we took double L or double deaths on it, but like it takes the Pyro from them and it also like the gold evens out. So we were pretty just trying to focus the objective, see how fast we could do them, and I was just kind of surprised on how fast we really could shred. Like just me and a Chernobog would basically take out an objective in like in the time span of an E-settle, which we were pretty happy about.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Just wanted to say thank you, Swift, for coming in. Nathan, do you have any questions before we wrap this one up?
No more questions. Just a very good play. Really enjoyed watching the game, and I think that your team did really well, especially in the second game.
Well, thank you.
All right, and that's going to be the end of this stream. Thank you, Swift, for the interview. I'm going to send you to the lounge to go get yourself a margarita. We can go play some TFT later if you want. But that is all from us. Nathan did the intro, so I'll do the outro. My name is Giants, one of the casters for tonight. You'll be hearing lots of my voice in the next couple of days. I'm going to be casting a lot of games coming up, as well as doing a lot of the announcements for the league. But thank you so much, Nathan, for coming and commentating with me, and even bigger shout out to Tragic Fox doing the first time cam on this very, very intense team fight game.
And an excellent job, I might add.
And that's going to be it for us. So signing out. Have a good one. Have a good night.
Thank you for joining us. Bye.